Let's check if it's working.
Hey, I see live. I see
So
it
then you
live
can
on
take it
Facebook.
from my Facebook and share it on yours.
Hey. Options. Um, share to my story.
Share to your feed, I guess. Share
Share.
share now, something like this.
Share now. Yeah. All right. Ooh, we're some highly advanced caveman over here.
Of course, we are digital cavemen from the roots to the crystal realm. Digital, very powerful.
Ah.
I'm checking if it's working on my side also, and ta-dun, ta-dun, ta-dun. Yes, it is.
Ta-dum, 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 ta-dum.
Amazing. Hmm.
Hey, there we are.
Would you mind? Yes, your camera is the best.
All right. We
Ah,
are live.
so we are live. Here we are, beautiful.
We are alive and we're live.
We are alive and live. So to start this live, I would like first of all to bring gratitude for um, for you, Merlin, to show up and call for this exposure on social media and to call for this subject that is really sensitive also for male and for female because it's really regarding to the feminine polarity that we have inside and how we are considering it and acknowledging it. It doesn't matter which gender we are, but somehow uh, as conscious men that are walking that path, it's really important to dive into that subject too. And in order to open the space together with the people that are watching also, I would like to simply invite a bit of drumming to drop into a state of presence altogether. I think it's important. So I'm inviting you basically and the people that are watching to close your eyes, to sit down, and to simply feel feel the body, feel the vibration, feel the sound. Basically, it's a quick attunement to give space for my Shiva to hold space and create a sacred space within myself for the feminine to be welcomed and seen. So every time that I'm drumming, it's really bringing this kind of harmony within myself and this alignment. And even scientifically, they're saying that the hemispheres of the brain are also like tuning into a kind of unity frequency when there is this kind of vibration. So it's not only a mental belief, it's also a physical uh, aspect that is unfolding. And thank you for receiving that. And to start this beautiful vortex today and streaming, I would like to introduce my dear brother, Merlin. Merlin celebration. Merlin, I would like you to introduce yourself to the people that are watching. Who are you? And what what path are you walking and what kind of service you're offering to the world? And what brings you to be aware of your inner feminine?
Mhm. I'm Marcus Merlin, and the path that I'm walking is the path of a healer, and stepping into that humbly, unfolding it every moment, every step, and looking for where I can show up in balance of energy, feminine and masculine, so that everything I come across, every person I come across, my offerings and my gifts can be received by more people. The more in balance I feel I am with both the masculine and the feminine. There's also the inner child and the animal. Everything in tune, everything in balance. Yeah.
Mm, that's really true. And actually, with Merlin, when we met, it was on the subject of danza ecstatica in this house behind, because this is the house of Merlin, actually. And
Yeah.
we've been doing ecstatic dance here on the theme of the inner child expression. So when you mentioned that, it reminds me a lot. And I would like also to recall this memory. One of the first time that I truly connected with you, it was like in Ekomaste, in a gathering down there for full moon. And I was really in a wave of strong emotion that day. I was really in a kind of like storm of emotions. And I remember you proposed me to just get apart from the crowd and to like really come back to presence. And I really appreciate the way that you were holding my space for this kind of storm, to don't stay in that storm, but to come back into the eye and come back into a state of presence. So I wanted
Mm.
today to acknowledge that one of the first time we met, you had this strong Shiva presence that allow my Shakti, in a way, and my feminine to feel safe and to feel like, oh wow, okay, I can drop in and I can relax, you know? So this is really a strong
Mm.
quality that you have. And I acknowledge that, and it's really powerful actually. It's rare
Mm.
to meet such a brother. And I'm happy that you are in my life for that.
Mm.
Not only for
Yeah.
that, but it's part of it.
Thank you for that memory
Yeah,
and
definitely.
reflection.
And I would like also to introduce myself for the people that may not know exactly what is my service. My name is Leo Martinez. I'm a transformational trust guide and a shamanic healer. And at the moment, I am mainly proposing transformational program called Trust in Human Activation, that is basically supporting the empowerment of women to trust in themselves so that they can balance the feminine and the masculine from within and feel complete and shine full power, their magic and their love to the world. So I'm at the moment really on it, and this program is opening the doors. It's starting for the winter solstice actually on the 20th of December, and right now it is still open to enrollment for all the courageous women who wants to jump into it. And I've been doing this transformational journey already once, and it was epic. So this is why I'm willing to propose even more and to shine even more. And those codes and those this magic that is going through me. But today we're gonna talk also about when we become aware of our inner feminine. I'm not sure. You mentioned that when you introduce yourself, I would like to know more about this inner feminine awakening and when it has taken a space into your life that was meaningful.
Mm. I don't know if I can pinpoint the exact day, but I like to go into creation mode when I'm asked questions and go with the first vision that comes to mind.
Sure, go for it.
And it was 2 years ago in September. I was in Portugal and I was attending a powerful transformational course. It was ISTA 2. And I realized that through my stories as a kid and through life's events, I had not fully respected women in my life.
Mm.
And I didn't fully listen to the women in my life. Like, I would listen and I would be kind, but I wouldn't listen like magic was coming out of their mouth, such that what they said was just pure magic, and like fully honor it and embrace it. And because of this lack of listening, what I realized is that I had not been listening to the inner feminine inside of me.
Hmm.
I had not been giving full power and voice when the inner feminine inside me says, that's not a good relationship, or this is not what we're up to, or this doesn't honor our path, or that little signal inside from my inner feminine, I wasn't fully listening. And the way that it showed up in that course was that I met a woman in this course that we had a really amazing connection. And afterwards, we had planned on doing a road trip and traveling.
Mm.
And I made a powerful promise to myself that from that moment forward to always listen and honor and give voice to my inner feminine. In other words, if there's 2 people or 3 people on a trip, on a journey, and one of those is the feminine, that when she speaks, to surrender and to surrender to her guidance. And in this course, this woman that I had a powerful connection with, she had done some things that it didn't fully align with what my inner feminine knew that I wanted for my love life and for my heart at the time. Mm. And my inner child wanted to play with her, and my animal wanted to really enjoy her, and my masculine wanted to enjoy time, and my feminine said, this is not what we're up to. This is not what we truly are up to. And I surrendered to what the feminine voice said was that this is not what we're up to. And my inner child was sad, and my animal and my masculine was confused, but we surrendered to the voice of the inner feminine. And inside of that, my feminine can honor what she was doing and how she was showing up, and like, oh, you go, girl, that's sexy. Oh yeah, you're getting your Shakti on. I'm proud of you. Woo! Like owning the room and wooing all the energy in the room like a goddess. Like my feminine could fully embrace it. And she said that this is not the relationship that you're up to right now, that we're up to. And I surrendered in listening. And from that moment forward, started listening and checking in with my inner feminine on a daily basis. And it transforms the way that I listen to the feminine in my life on a daily basis.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. And I'm wondering also how, on this daily basis, it's really manifesting through. It's like visions, it's like intuition. This is all that kind of stuff that, from what you said, I heard is like you became more aware of your inner movement and inner world, and you became more aware of the value of it, and in order to give more space into the way you manifest your reality. This is what I heard in what you said. Am I right?
Yeah, a daily basis of I mix Wim Hof breathing and do a meditation every day
Mm.
where I check in with the body, I check in with the inner child, check in with the inner feminine, the masculine, the animal, and spirit.
Mm.
And I do a Wim Hof breathing to escalate my blood and shift my alkaline level, go to the subconscious, and really just be with the inner feminine on an energetic level and listen for what does she need today?
Mm.
Does she need to feel sexy? Does she need to be held? Does she need to be acknowledged? Just really listen and give her voice and give her the power to speak her mind and make requests like, this is what I need today. This is what I desire.
Mm. Wow. Thank you so much for that. I love
Yeah.
to listen to you and your perspective. It's always full of teachings. And there is something in what you said that really resonates with me when you talk about practices and kind of Wim Hof or daily practices. Because for me, it's so important in my daily basis to make a morning practice where I have this kind of structure of sitting with myself, with my body, bringing this kind of call for the divine masculine and bringing this consistency. And by doing that, by calling this divine masculine structure and consistency into my life,
Mm.
I bring also a sacred space where this inner container that I am can welcome the feminine within myself. So it's really something that goes with. It's not about only inner feminine, inner masculine. It's to play on both frames, you know, and to really like
Mm.
grow hand in hand from within, being aware that when I cultivate my divine masculine, my inner masculine, I cultivate also my divine feminine because I allow a space to be created inside to receive. And I really
Mm-hmm.
noticed that. And yeah, I also want to share like 5 years ago when I started to listen to this inner feminine, for me was a really interesting shift in my life where before I was working in a laboratory. I was a microbiologist and developing some kind of diagnostic tests to detect antibiotic resistance, um, some kind of disease. And one day I just like realized that I had so much dreams inside, so much visions, so much calls that I was not listening. And those calls were so strong. It was like 2 or 3 years before that time that those calls were coming to me, but I was not listening. It was not logical. It was not like I would say, yeah, logical for my mind. You know, it was too dreamy, let's say. But those visions were something that was coming inside, and it was my intuition. It was my soul and my feminine willing to show up and to be seen. And from the moment that I started to listen to that, I just say, yes, I'm going to follow those voices and see what's going on. I'm going to follow this unknown and see where my life is leading to. And I quit my job. I sold out everything and I just started to hitchhike around the world. And I follow those voices ever since, you know, and my life has been shifting really strongly. Like it's a complete old dimension now. Why? Because I just let that voice to have a space within myself and to co-create with me the reality that I'm living in. And this is so important. So I really wanted to share that because from that moment, my life has been
Mm-hmm.
really shifting. And this is also a moment where
Mm.
uh, I started to sing. I mean, I started to like take singing lessons and to really like tune my instrument in order to express that frequency, to express that melody to the world. So, and in French, one interesting point is that the voice and the path um, is the same. La voix et la voix is the same sound that is saying the voice and the path. So as soon as I started to express my voice differently, I started to manifest my path in a different way. So I want
Mm.
to bring that out because it's really meaningful for my evolutionary journey. And So yeah, basically it has influenced my life so much to listen to this inner intuition. Is going deeper and deeper and deeper every single day, like diving deep into this unknown and like, oh wow, where I'm going with that, you know? And then it takes
Yeah.
like bring out, as I said, the divine masculine. Let's trust it and hold that space and just go there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's also like I would like to just switch into our romantic relationships, because we are working on that, this inner couple from within, but ultimately it has influences into our romantic relationship and how um, it manifests in the way we interact with other shaktis in our life, you know. And from my personal journey, my partner is always challenging me because she's a beautiful embodiment of the Shakti, and she's always calling for a part of myself that I'm not aware of. And I'm doing my work daily, but her Shakti is so creative that every single day she's calling for another part of myself. And this is really impressive, I have to say. And it's also really challenging, but thanks to her, I've been really diving deep into, I would say, yeah, the person that I am and that I'm becoming all the time. So I'm wondering how it has been for you unfolding into your romantic relationships, and how you've been able to maybe hold more space for the feminine to be expressed and more emotional spaces. Can you just share with us a bit
Yeah.
of that if you wish?
Yeah. I think what comes to mind is that with the daily practice that we both align on that is required, right? Like um, able to listen to the inner child, listen to the inner feminine,
Mm,
listen to the inner masculine, and give full voice while listening in a trusted space, much like we're speaking and listening right now in this conversation. So, fully asking questions and listening to the feminine and the masculine each day
mm,
allows me to, in my love life, in my romantic life, to transform what was raised as a masculine, listening from a masculine point of view, right? Like listening from um, listening from a man's point of view, listening from honestly sometimes an unhealthy father or an unhealthy brother role that we picked up through our life, through mentors, through guides that weren't
mm,
the healthiest mentors and guides at the time. And if I'm listening from that space from the past, when a lover, a female lover, says things or does things or interacts with other men in a close way that rubs my primal male instincts wrong and activates my primal male instincts and makes me want to go into attack mode, my masculine is like, ah, what's going on? You know, like caveman, like, stop. And if I can,
mm,
if I, if I surrender the masculine to please go sit in the hammock for a little while, and I tune into the
mm,
feminine can listen and be with how the other feminine is acting and speaking and how she's being, and better understand what's going on, better observe versus react what's going on and what she's doing and what she's saying, and she's being close to another woman. And from my feminine, I can feel into, well, this is just free flow fun. It's just a beautiful conversation. There's no meaning behind it. I can listen and observe and be with what's going on when I'm in my feminine,
mm.
and then and be less confused and and in a better space of understanding what's going on and asking questions. And yeah,
Mm.
that's what comes to
Wow.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah. What I hear and what from what you said and what is coming to me is that for you to do the work as a man, uh, you are somehow, when you are triggered, because triggers are coming through the mirrors of your Shakti and other people, basically you just take space for yourself to tap in and to really check what is moving inside yourself. Instead of reacting from that trigger, you have in a way the awareness and the wisdom to like, oh, I'm gonna breathe a moment and I'm gonna see what is really the root of it, because it's not about what I see, it's about the way that I see it, in the way that I can react to it. So I hear that from what you said, and I really appreciate that. And you mentioned also this unhealthy masculine, or this father that is coming sometimes at the surface. I can relate with that also. Basically, this shadow work that we are doing in a way as conscious men is to like rewire those patterns and behaviors that has been expressing so much. And how to rewire that, we have to go through it and to feel them and to like, oh, okay, this is here, how I'm gonna deal with that now, and how I'm gonna transform and do this inner alchemy work in order to, yeah, to rise the frequency and to like change the patterns, you know, the pathways. And ultimately, like by doing this, that inner work, I do feel and see how much it ripples and helps others to do that. For example, um, 1 year ago, I went to a retreat for men, and the facilitators were amazing. And I learned a lot into this retreat just by listening to my brothers, just by being held by them, by sharing together and opening space of intimacy, which means being naked together, which means being naked emotionally together, to like sit down and really talk about what is moving, what is meaningful below the surface, you know, of the forecast and the sun and the rain, below the surface, what is really moving inside it and what I'm really working on at the moment. And being in such a container with my brothers was highly empowering. And I know that, and I feel that at some point in my life, I will hold that kind of space also, because it's so powerful. And we definitely need that kind of circle of men more and more to rewire together those, I would say, like memories, collective memories, because this unhealthy masculine is coming from within, from all of us, and from the into the female also. It's not about, it's genderless even. So yeah, it takes a sacred proper container in order to alchemize that. And it starts right here, right now. When, for example, you just
Mm.
get out of what's going on,
Yeah.
create a container where there is space and where you can see clearer. And this is a beautiful work that you are doing, and I'm really admiring that. So thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. One thing I wanted to add to that recreation of your listening was that I think that even women and men born in this life from man or a male or masculine in this life, that the practice of connecting with the feminine is actually a active surrendering, is what I feel. It's an active surrendering of
Mm,
the masculine surrendering to the feminine inside leading the way. Like it's a transformational energy of what was a reaction from a masculine point of view, whatever that looks like to each of us, whether it be a dominance, a higher energy, an aggression, or whatever it is, but an active surrendering and the feminine guiding the way, and in each person choosing to actively surrender the masculine and let the feminine lead the way, listen, speak, and basically be in charge of a situation newly. And
mm,
the masculine inside of all of us agreeing to surrender to what the
mm,
feminine says at that time in that moment and guiding the way, like mom saying, hey, you guys, this is the way it's going to go today.
mm.
This is the way that I see it, and and yeah, this is how it's going to go. And and we surrender. We surrender to the feminine wisdom, that powerful medicine woman wisdom inside of us, and a constant practice to actively surrender, like a king or a knight, like bowing to the queen inside of us.
Wow, that's really powerful, and this is essential. And I'm going through it every single day, seeing my egos that are popping to the surface. Like, I am not surrendering to that. I'm sorry. This is not. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but I know inside that I better surrender. But there is the ego that is trying to survive, and those memories and patterns like, no, I hold on, I don't want to evolve, I don't want to change. And it's a conscious reminder, like, oh my gosh, may I surrender, may I melt. And the more I walk that path, the more the resistance are strong also. So the more I have to really like be aware on deeper levels and like to release even deeper layers. It's really something. And again, I have the chance to have a partner that is always mirroring me this love and dedication to love, and always talking to me as much as she can from that space. And it can be triggering sometimes because it just mirrors the places where I don't surrender, the places where I don't love myself, or the places where I react, you know. And it's really something. It's really something, but it's worthwhile for sure to refine these senses, you know. And we have a comment from Lisa Campbell, who was saying, yes, it is very healthy to embrace both female and male inside. Thank you. So yeah,
Thank
this
you,
topic
Lisa.
is really hot at the moment, and I think on the individual and collective level, there is a kind of, we are reaching a threshold where it's so important to bring this awareness and to do that kind of work from within. And
Yeah.
it's part of the unity consciousness that is getting to life, you know, because as long as there is duality inside ourselves, okay, we see the duality. I see the duality, masculine, feminine. We see that now. But then it's how we are weaving our way to create that dance, you know? And this is where the unity can manifest into that dance of duality. And
And I, and
yeah, tell me.
sorry, I think that in reality, in the city life, for many people to live in a city and flourish and have a home and a car and be in the matrix that most people believe is the best thing for them right now is a calling for the feminine to step into her masculine by way of going to work and holding down a job and then coming back and holding down the feminine side of a home. That it's up to the man and the masculine, speaking to myself into the future and to all brothers out there, to, if we're calling on the feminine to step into a masculine role of job and holding down, bringing in some money and resources, that the men step into an equal role of stepping into their feminine and holding space for support and love and cleaning the home and taking turns cooking meals and whatever that looks like inside the family dynamics, to meet each other halfway. Just wanted to put that into perspective.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And what it reminds me, it's simply my grandmother and the way that my grandmother was judging my father, because he was stepping into his inner feminine in a way and doing stuff that were not in that consciousness at this moment. And it was triggering my grandmother, like, you are not a man if you're doing that, you know. And it goes really from this conception of what is to be a male, what is to be a female again, you know, and how we can melt those strong patterns,
Stories,
belief,
yeah.
like really belief, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I know my past lover has fears of this relationship creation of how it is going to be. And part of it is like the woman's she's gonna be stuck if she has a family, and gonna be like always cooking and cleaning and all that. And I've got a brother named Kevin Bali, and he's definitely a role model for me as a father. He's a good friend of mine, and he owns a really successful business. And I would be over at his house, and I would meet him when he got off of work, and his wife would be home, and she would already be doing stuff, and he would come home after running a very successful business, and while talking to me, he would be doing the dishes. He would wipe off the counter, and then he would check in with his wife, like, "Hey, are you hungry? Do you want anything? We're gonna prepare a snack. Do you want anything?" And part of me was like, "Whoa!" Like, he just got off of work and did all these things, and she's already been home. And seeing him show up as that kind of king, leading by example, it just super resonated, and it shattered so many beliefs that I brought into my next relationship of like, I'll cook, I can clean, we can pitch in and do all of these things together, and I can hold space for a soft conversation and just listen. I can just surrender and let you lead the way on this, whatever it is. So I really, I guess, monkey see, monkey do. And when we start doing and being this new way, this new reality for others and walking that path, we can transform those limited beliefs, those paths in seconds. Once we see it, it's like, that's me. We are in which we seek. And once we see it, it's like, that's who I am. That's the kind of feminine or masculine, or that's who I am in a loving relationship with the right coaches, the right guides, the right people around us. We can shift just like that.
That's true. It can be shifted really fast, and there's many beliefs around what is to be a female or a male, and this is really limiting. As you just expose really clearly, like, you've been triggered from your own limiting belief from the example of another brother that was behaving differently than what you were used to, and somehow it opened boxes into your mind and into yourself that, oh wow, I'm just like having this conception right now, but this is not the ultimate truth. There is something else that can be unfolding in front of me and proposed. It's like an invitation, because when you mentioned about like not shape shifting, but like switching that vibration differently in a moment, and you bring also like the fact that being together and like supporting each other into that, and from the example of others, how powerful it can be. Because in that moment you may have been really silent and just observing, but somehow it was like happening something inside yourself. So what I want to bring out right now is like, never underestimate the way you are to the world, because this is what is making true change. Like, I really resonate with Gandhi when he's saying, be the change you want to see in this world, and just be it. There's no like return, just be it and show up into it fully. And then the rest is out of your control, but be sure that there is a ripple effect on others and on the world and on the consciousness. There is many layers where we can have effect on without even being aware of that. So yeah, and show up, showing up into that, showing up in what you believe, what is really strong, and to manifest that, beyond, despite all those beliefs that can block, all those fears or whatever. Just like showing into it and say, and so what? I'm embodying something different right now. Okay, great. Nobody can argue on saying anything on that. He can maybe be triggered or judged, but he cannot argue, because it's like the way it is, and it's like bringing a new frequency, a new reality by walking that reality, walking that path. And that's powerful. Yeah.
And bringing fun to it, like when there's a new shift that we want to step into, and it's like, this is how I'm choosing to show up, to to get grounded, and there might be a fear there. There might be an emotional fear that's there, and we can use that fear that biologically comes from our fight or flight mechanism in our cells. We can use that fear as a fuel, like a rocket fuel, like a big glass of cacao or coffee. We can use that fear as a fuel to launch us into that new way of being.
Mm. Mm. That's really true, and it resonates a lot with my path at the moment, where I am led to face a lot of fears. And I did a medicine journey last Friday here in this house by myself. And at one moment of this medicine journey, I've been called to look at myself in a mirror. And what happened is that many times my face was shape shifting. There were many, many facets of my personality coming to the surface. That was maybe from past life, that was from my ancestors, that was from maybe other dimensions, you know. But it was frightening to see that, to see my features just shape shifting like this. I even saw like the face of a woman at some point really strongly. And but this one was not scary. It was really graceful and beautiful. But what was scary really was the demons. When I was seeing those faces of demons and past life, was like, oh my gosh, what is that? And at that moment, I had the choice of looking away or just diving deeper into that mirror and just saying, hey, and so what? You know, I see you, and I'm not gonna disappear in front of you. I'm gonna look at you, and then somehow the face is just shape shifting and integrating up, and then I'm just showing up into a new frequency and daring to see that fear and to look at that fear in the eyes. And my technique also to defeat those fears and to say, hey, I see you and I love you, was to sing for them. In that moment, I was playing, talking to them and looking at them and really singing. And then it was like a communication with this world that was unfolding in front of me. And I was doing this inner alchemy work of facing that fear tangibly, you know. And I'm really looking forward for the next one. I think like in a few days, maybe this weekend, I will invite another medicine journey, because it's really fulfilling to dare to show up into that space, you know, and do the work, the shadow work, in a way, and put the light into it. I kind of have fun to do that.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think I feel that we've been delivering what we came here for. And I feel complete on my side. What about you?
Yeah, it's the only thing that came to mind was like in your share just now, just certain medicine journeys or silent retreats, or whether that be taking time for ourselves if we're in the city, and just to go up and camp for one night or two nights and be with ourselves, or whatever that is, to really get in tune with our energy. To practice getting out of the head, getting out of the mind, to practice being aware, but not being the body's emotions, the body's fears, the mind's thoughts, and practice tuning into our energy and simplifying. Here's our energy, and as a woman or man on the planet, this is how I choose for my energy to land over there with you. This is how I choose for my energy to land with the plants, with other humans, with the different roles in our life, to all, equally practice simplifying, moving everything out of our space and just choosing that how our energy is going to land with other humans, and this is how I'm choosing it to be. And to keep in practice yeah, tuning in with that energy so that we're aware of how it's showing up now, and then transforming how we choose for it to show up for others.
It's a conscious choice in a way.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, with that, I feel complete on this topic. Um, so sorry, one other thing, Leo, because in the topic of feeling safe and trusting other masculine, the gift that I would like to give to all is that even for a woman, is that in my life and in many that I know, the masculine is not raised where we can speak our heart and speak our emotions and speak like, hey, I'm scared right now, or mom, I don't feel like you love me, or I don't feel loved today, or like whatever is there for our little boy inside. And that to feel safe is to feel listened to. And that to feel safe is to feel that we can trust, that we can say whatever we want to say and be vulnerable. And the other person, man or woman, is energetically listening from a safe place. Like, tell me more. Like, what else is there? I'm here for you. And to create a safe space, to create that safe space so that the men in our life can feel safe saying and showing up and showing up differently than they were is going to take sometimes us listening differently than how we used to listen.
That's really true. And I'm going through that at the moment also by diving into like non-violent communication tools and holding that space of listening and always calling for that space in my surrounding also like, hey, right now I'm sharing something vulnerable. Can you just be present? I don't need any reaction, any answers, anything. I just want a container where I can like be, and be loved.
Yeah,
And it's really important for me to feel safe. Definitely, I need
yeah,
a proper container of listening, and I need to be held into that. And, I guess this is really regardless to the gender, because when I'm with someone that is not holding such a space, maybe this person is not aware of the movement of her masculine, and it's just like not holding that sacred container for my feminine to unfold. So basically, I don't feel safe out of it. And can be with another brother, it's the same. If my brother is not present with me, like I will not expose so many layers because he's not able to welcome them. So it's really a co-creation and a dance of how deep we can be together, how intimate we can go, and beautiful.
and I do want to, like, I feel safe in the listening of you. So like you said, I feel safe moving through layers and saying whatever is there because I'm not protecting myself. I feel safely listened to. And then we can go to infinite layers, like you said. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Thank you. And I also want to bring something else to the space, is that it takes a lot of trust to do such a thing, to really like hold space and even like expose ourselves vulnerably. It takes a lot of trust and surrendering to the process. And I am right now inviting into the space and creating a trust shamanic session on Sunday morning, where I'm inviting anybody that is willing to experience what is to meet this entity of trust, and what is your relationship with trust at the moment into your life. I'm gonna guide such a journey inward and see how we can like subconsciously bring to consciousness layers of our psyche, and how we can like shape shift that into our real life. and I'm excited by this. So below this video, I'm gonna post a link in order for people that are willing to join this exclusive session, unique session, to already like put their email and receive like the link to join that. So I made it as a private access for the people that are really interested to go inside. They will receive that. It's important for me to have the proper vibration into the container. And again, if people are ready to receive and to surrender, this is where the transformation can happen. So it's really important. And yeah, I'm really glad to manifest that. And basically, thank you so much, Merlin, for this invitation, this live streaming on this sensitive topic. And it's really like alive right now. It's really alive right now in many, many dimensions of my life.
Yeah, me too, brother. And yeah, are you complete there?
I'm complete there, yeah.
And then for the people on my social media, my Facebook, Leo's a dear brother, and he's really helped me by being like a powerful masculine, co-creating fire ceremonies together, and like leading the way, like let's get in, let's do this, and then also holding a powerful space of his feminine and willing to listen, just listen from an open heart and from a soft space where he's been a guide for me to visualize my comfort zone in connecting with my inner feminine, that another powerful, beautiful man can connect with his feminine, so then I can as well. And and that I trust him. And you offer coaching and guiding to women who want to access a higher level of trust into the masculine. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so if this is something that resonates closer to your heart, that you want to bring in the energy of trusting and bringing in powerful men and shifting your willingness and ability to trust them, that tomorrow's not promised, and this is a beautiful person to reach out to for that kind of guidance and support to bring that into your life, because we all deserve to have that powerful magic love life now. Now. Yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Wow. Thank you so much. I want to say that I love you so much, and I'm looking forward when you're gonna pop into my life again. I know you're coming back here for the winter solstice.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm surprised by this, for the magician that you are, to just come into my life again, into this reality, to manifest for this portal. I love that. So I'm excited by it.
Me too.
And I feel we're gonna share medicine journey together also on the 21st, right? So let's journey. It's amazing.
I'll pick you up on the magic carpet.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, and have a wonderful journey. And see you soon anyway. Thank you for this.
We see us in 5.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Okay, brother. Ciao.